American culture is now normalizing the idea that minors can be given hormones to prevent their biological development of their secondary sexual characteristics. Dr. Levine, you have supported both allowing minors to be given hormone blockers to prevent them from going through puberty, as well as surgical destruction of a minor's genitalia. Like surgical mutilation, hormonal interruption of puberty can permanently alter and prevent secondary sexual characteristics. The American College of Pediatricians reports that 80 to 95% of prepubertal children with gender dysphoria will experience resolution by late adolescence if not exposed to medical intervention and social affirmation. Dr. Levine, do you believe that minors are capable of making such a life-changing decision as changing one's sex?
Well, Senator, thank you for your interest in this question. Transgender medicine is a very complex and nuanced field with robust research and standards of care that have been developed. And if I am fortunate enough to be confirmed as the Assistant Secretary of Health, I would look forward to working with you and your office and coming to your office and discussing the particulars of the standards of care for transgender medicine.
The specific question was about minors. Let's be a little more specific since you evaded the question. Do you support the government intervening to override the parent's consent to give a child puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and/or amputation surgery of breasts and genitalia? You have said that you're willing to accelerate the protocols for street kids. I'm alarmed that poor kids with no parents who are homeless and distraught, you would just go through this and allow that to happen to a minor. I would hope that you would have compassion for Kira Bell, who's a 23-year-old girl who was confused with her identity. At 14, she read on the internet about something about transsexual. She thought, well, maybe that's what I am. She ended up getting these puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones. She had her breasts amputated. But here's what ultimately she says now. And this is a very insightful decision from someone who made a mistake but was led to believe this was a good thing by the medical community. I made a brash decision as a teenager, as a lot of teenagers do, trying to find confidence and happiness, except now the rest of my life will be negatively affected, she said, adding that the medicalized gender transitioning was a very temporary, superficial fix for a very complex identity issue. What I'm alarmed at is that you're not willing to say absolutely minors shouldn't be making decisions to amputate their breast or to amputate their genitalia. For most of our history, we believe that minors don't have full rights and the parents need to be involved. So I'm alarmed that you won't say with certainty that minors should not have the ability to make the decision to take hormones that will affect them for the rest of their life. Will you make a more firm decision on whether or not minors should be involved in these decisions?
Senator, transgender medicine is a very complex and nuanced field, and if confirmed to the position of Assistant Secretary of Health, I would certainly be pleased to come to your office and talk with you and your staff about the standards of care and the complexity of this field.
Let it go into the record that the witness refused to answer the question.
Just watching a so-called health official openly advocate for irreversible medical damage as affirmation is appalling and unacceptable.
I would like you to explain, what, in your definition, what a woman is.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
there are people who identify as different genders who are capable of getting pregnant. That is my position on this. I am not going to feed more into the bigotry of that question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt Gress, Legislative District 4, thank you for hearing this bill.
Just, I want your opinion on this and your answer. Can men get pregnant?
Mr. Chairman, no.
Thank you. And there was a reason why I asked that question. It's because of our culture and the idiocy that's out there about men getting pregnant, about, what is a woman, define a woman, all that stuff. So I thought it was kind of relevant to this bill. In fact, I was even thinking about an amendment to ensure that those thoughts are instilled in statute that men cannot get pregnant, and if a pregnant man's assaulted, that doesn't have a part of it. But anyway, just wanted to kind of see where you were at on that, but I knew you were on the right side. So,
thank you, Mr. Chairman, for hearing the bill.
Yes, sir.
Against, Marilyn Rodriguez.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Chair, members, Marilyn Rodriguez with Creosote Partners on behalf of our client, the Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence, in opposition to this legislation. Leaving discretion with the courts and prosecutors is in the best interest of survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence, and we strongly encourage a no vote against this legislation, which we believe is an attempt to place a greater value on unborn human life than domestic violence victims. Thank you.
So, Ms. Marilyn, can men get pregnant?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Or to that point,
And I'm not done. Define what a woman is, in your
Mr.
opinion.
relevance, point of order.
Thank you very much.
It is relevant, and point of order not recognized. I would like you to answer that, because you are speaking on behalf of a bill that involves pregnant women, and I would like to get your take on that.
Mr. Chairman, I'm speaking in opposition to a bill
Right.
related to the domestic violence against people who are pregnant.
Against a woman who is
Women.
pregnant. That's in the bill, not people, woman. So I would like you to explain, in your definition, what a woman is.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
there are people who identify
Women.
as different genders who are capable of getting pregnant. That is my position on this. I am not going to feed more into the bigotry of that question.
Okay. Well, thank you. I just want to make a comment of, the reason I asked that question is there's two different philosophies in this room regarding this bill, and I think it is relevant to this bill. And I concur with Senator Rogers it's a sad day in our nation where you have a bill that's being run that is protecting pregnant women. Just a few short years ago, we knew what a woman was. We knew men could not get pregnant, and I still believe they cannot get pregnant. I was called a bigot this morning because of that philosophy. It's insane where we become, and until we continue to push back on the idiocy that's out there as to men getting pregnant, people that cannot define what a woman is, and we have to keep telling the truth that God created them male and female, and real men protect real women.
This is amazing. I fully support this honorable congressman. I am so tired of the delusion that men can get pregnant. It's just insulting and needs to be stopped. I do not know who this lady is, but until she can describe what a woman is, she needs to be relieved of her duties immediately.
I think there's a difference between your biological makeup and how you present yourself.
I think you can make that difference, but I think if you do, you're under a delusion, and your delusion should not be recognized by society.
Okay.
Mental illness is not something that we should then recognize. Do I believe men becoming pregnant is propaganda? Yes, absolutely. You can't even define what a woman is.
Sorry, can I ask
Do you mean people that can have birth?
Yeah, female. Okay, well, guys, if you have menopause, you're no longer a woman according to Charlie Kirk. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think that if you have menopause, you're only a woman. You can't be a man. That's the argument.
Individuals who identified as women.
Someone who has the potential in their life to give birth or had the potential is a woman.
So if they're infertile, they're not a woman.
They have the potential. Let me make it more clear for you. XX chromosomes. Woman.
There are no gender rules, though.
Oh, there have been, and there should be. Basically, your argument is that your feeling can dictate who you are. I say no. I say that your biology dictates who you are.
Imagine all the money spent in these universities to educate these kids. They don't know the difference between males and females.
You keep referring to pro-choice people, pro-abortion.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone is pro-abortion. I think it's pro-choice.
Pro-choice to do what?
To do what they want with their own body.
To have an abortion.
Yeah, but that's doing what they want with their body.
I'm against abortion. Are you for abortion?
I don't think it matters. I think it matters what that
Well, you
person
can be
wants to
pro-abortion,
do.
you can be anti-abortion.
No, you...
I mean, if
there's-
abortion's so good...
Okay, you're
if
saying it's black
abortion's
and white.
so good, why are you waffling at this?
Okay,
If
you
abortion
think
is
it's
okay,
black and white.
if
You think
abortion is simply
black and white.
removal of unwanted tissue, does nothing wrong, why are you having a hard time saying you're pro-abortion? Just accept the damn word.
What, abortion?
Yeah, say you're pro-abortion.
Why should I?
Why won't you?
Because you want me to.
There you go.
I can't believe that these people are in college. The future is bleak for this country.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Becerra. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you coming before the committee. To start off, as a Secretary of Health and Human Services, can you define for this committee what is a man?
You're looking at one.
Great. So you are a man. I like that. Can you tell me, can men get pregnant?
Unless you know something I don't, I think the answer is pretty obvious.
What is that answer, sir?
I'm asking you, is there something you know that I don't know that would say that a man...
Well, I'm asking what you know. Can men get pregnant?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay. Well, Mr. Secretary, materials coming from your department, you've referred to mothers as birthing persons, replacing that title with...
Are mothers not persons?
Mothers are persons, but it seems to be more inclusive, like you're trying to include another gender in that.
I'm all about inclusion, Congresswoman.
There you go.
Sadly, people of education are playing this game where they simply say men cannot carry a baby. It's cowardly to deny reality.
We're at Royal Holloway and we're asking whether men can get pregnant or not. Can a man get pregnant?
Yeah.
I'm a male, can I get pregnant?
If you were transgender, yeah.
How would that work? So for our viewers and for my edification, how would that work? If so, I'm a male, chromosomes, biological, etc. How could I get pregnant?
Well, if you're assigned female at birth, then you would still have like a womb stuff. But then if you identified as a man...
No, as in, sorry, that's my fault, my wording.
Sorry.
No, so if I'm a biological man,
yes.
And I don't have a uterus, as a man, can I get pregnant?
If you're assigned male, then no.
You
don't
can't.
have those reproductive systems.
Can a man get pregnant?
A man cannot get pregnant. It's within our biology that a woman has a uterus and a man does not. So no.
I just drop on the mic and just walk off. Then leave it running. Okay, cool. Here at Royal Holloway University, we're asking students, can men get pregnant?
Oh.
So it's candid, yeah? Honest. Maybe they can.
I don't think so.
I'm a male. Trust me. Can I get pregnant?
I don't think so.
Is it insulting to women? Are you a feminist? Is it insulting to women to say that a man can get pregnant?
No, I don't know.
It's not insulting. Is that not a woman's birthright? Is that not a woman's right? Is that not something that you guys go through hell for?
Maybe a little bit.
Just your opinion.
I think maybe a little bit.
So men can't get pregnant?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, cool. We're at Royal Holloway University and we're asking students whether a man can get pregnant or not. Can a man get pregnant?
Don't know.
Can a man get pregnant?
Don't know.
I'm a male, as you can see. Can I get pregnant?
I don't know.
It's hey, listen, guys. It's honest answer stuff. Like, there's no right or wrong, or is there? Biologically, do I look like a male?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be rude to consider me a male.
No.
I think I'm looking at two females.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm not that sorry. You look like two females.
Yeah.
You have reproductive system that could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not assuming or presuming anything. I don't have a reproductive system. Can a man get pregnant?
No, if you don't have a reproductive.
Sorry, 1 second.
If you don't have a reproductive system.
If you don't have a cervix, if you don't have a uterus, if you don't have a womb, you can't get pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, biologically. Yeah.
Can a man get pregnant?
So no.
Can a man get pregnant?
It's a difficult one. I don't know.
Is it a difficult one?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Give me an example of how. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Give me an example of how a man could get pregnant.
They're like. I don't know.
You can say it.
I don't know.
You can say it, guys.
I don't know.
So a man can't get pregnant then?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, guys. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you. Look, that's great, guys. Can a man get pregnant?
No.
I'm a male. Can I get pregnant?
No way. No.
You look like a man. Can you get pregnant?
No, I don't think so. No.
Can men get pregnant?
No.
Top man. Can a man get pregnant?
No. It's not biologically possible.
I'm a male. Can I get pregnant?
No.
Are you a man?
Yeah.
Can you get pregnant?
No.
What do you think about the trans lobby that says that men can get pregnant?
I think it's just, I mean, it's not real, like, because men just can't get pregnant, you know, like, the biology. It's like, if they say they can, it's just, they've got it all in their minds. Like, I feel they just made it up, like, because they want to believe it, but it's just not possible.
Thank you, mate. Spot on. Thank you, mate. Can a man get pregnant?
I think, well, they can in this day and age with well, sort of new sciences of fertilization. Yeah, I mean, I think you see on the internet nowadays, you see more men with like artificial style pregnancies. Yeah.
So when you do you say defertilization?
I said artificial.
Artificial fertilization.
Yeah.
So so as men, I presume you're a man.
I am.
We don't have uteruses, no?
No.
So we can't get pregnant?
No. No, unless you undergo a procedure.
A procedure?
Yeah.
What, to have a uterus inserted or implanted?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but...
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to that extent, I guess anything like heart transplants, uterus,
yeah.
But biologically, do you know of any...
The sad thing is, deep down, none of these kids believe men can get pregnant, but they're scared stiff to say so. The social conformity is debilitating.
Thank you. Ms. Scanlon said a few minutes ago that this hearing is called because of an imminent peril to the right of abortion. Professor Goodwin, I guess you're the only witness presented by the majority as having expertise in the law. Do you unequivocally condemn the leak of the draft opinion?
It is absolutely unprecedented that there is a leak, and it is a story. It is not the story of these hearings, but that is unprecedented.
No, I didn't. I'm aware it's unprecedented. That's factual. Many people have covered that. I'm interested in, as a matter of your expertise, do you condemn it? Was it wrong to leak the opinion?
I believe that the justices need to be able to deliberate privately, and I think that leaks such as this make that difficult.
Thank you. So, Dr. Robinson, I noticed in your written testimony, you said that you use she, her pronouns. You're a medical doctor. What's a woman?
It's important for you to understand why I said I use she, her pronouns.
Well,
because I understand that
I'm
there
explaining.
are people,
I was explaining why I'm asking the question, but I'd just like to get an answer to the question. What's a woman?
I think it's important that we educate people like you about why we're doing the things that we do. And so the reason that I use she and her pronouns is because I understand that there are people who become pregnant that may not identify that way. And I think it is discriminatory to speak to people or to call them in such a way as they desire not to be called.
Thanks for that
So
explanation.
it's
Can you
important
answer-
that we respect each individual person.
Are you going to answer my question? Can you answer the question, what's a woman?
I'm a woman. And I will ask you, which pronouns do you use?
Can you
If you
provide...
tell me that you use she and her pronouns,
that-
I'm going to answer you. I'm going to call you Mr. Bishop. I'm going to respect you for how you want me to address you.
I'm just saying, so you give me an example of a woman, you say that you are a woman. Can you tell me,
think that is
otherwise, can you tell me what a woman is?
Yes, I'm telling you, I'm a woman.
Is that as comprehensive a definition as you can give me?
That's as comprehensive as the definitions as I will give you today, because I think that it's important that we focus on what we're here for, and it's to talk about access to abortion
So you're
care
not interested
and
in
how
answering a question
important this
I ask
right
unless,
is.
and answering a question that I ask unless it's part of a message you want to deliver. Is that right?
I'm sorry.
You're
Because
not.
I was talking and you were talking
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
same time.
I'm right.
I couldn't hear
It's my
you.
time.
Okay,
It's my time to ask you questions. That's the purpose of it. I ask you to uncover things by asking you questions and asking you to respond. So you're not willing to answer a question unless it's part of a message you wish to deliver. Is that correct?
Sir, what I was trying to explain to you is that I had a difficult time hearing you since we were talking at the same time.
All right, let me just see if I can go to Ms. Arambide. Is that a pretty close approximation of the pronunciation?
Arambide?
Arambide? Okay. What do you say a woman is?
I believe that everyone can identify for themselves.
Okay. Do you believe then that men can become pregnant and have abortions?
Yes.
Professor Goodwin, the draft opinion says this, in part. The court has no authority to decree that an erroneous precedent is permanently exempt from evaluation under traditional stare decisis principles. Adherence to precedent is the norm, but not an inexorable command. If the rule were otherwise, erroneous decisions like Plessy and Lochner would still be the law. Close quote. Professor, isn't that inarguably true?
I think it's important that we educate people like you. Not only a deflection, but an insult. They will not answer, "What is a woman?" because they know that doing so undermines their entire argument. That's how fragile their ideology is. It will fall apart if they are made to explain it.
Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that
dangerous.
trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you? Or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Ms. Matsky, let me ask you something. So you provide health care to women free of charge, right? Is that right?
Absolutely.
You've done this for many years.
Yep.
You have licensed medical professionals at your pregnancy care centers. Is that right?
That is correct.
And what are some of the resources that you provide for women who come to you in a time of need?
So-
just give us you talked about it in your written testimony, but just give us a sense of it.
So we have 3 OBGYN doctors, 5 registered nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, phlebotomists, medical assistants, and we provide prenatal care, OBGYN care. We provide pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, well woman visits, breast exams. We provide a wide range of medical services, yes.
So what do you think about the DC politicians now saying that your clinic and the other 3,000 pregnancy care centers around this country are fake medical clinics? For instance, Senator Warren has said, it's now more important than ever to crack down on so-called crisis pregnancy centers that mislead and deceive patients. Senator Menendez, crisis pregnancy centers jeopardize women's health and well-being, all while elevating unproven theories about birth control. Senator Warner wrote to Google asking them to censor search results for care centers like yours, saying, directing women to fake clinics that traffic in misinformation is dangerous to women's health and undermines the integrity of Google's search results. Do you run a fake clinic? I mean, is that what's happening here? You don't provide actual medical care to actual women?
We absolutely do not run a fake clinic, and we have a full medical staff. Like I said, many of our medical professionals have experienced abortion for themselves, including our OBGYN doctor who used to perform abortions. So our entire medical staff is there for women, whether they choose abortion and walk out the door or whether they choose life for their baby, and we support them for years after that.
Do you think there ought to be an ideological test to be able to get medical care in this country? I mean, should we say to women, well, you have to agree with the DC Democrats' ideology, otherwise you can't go get medical care? Or maybe for you and the physicians who work at your pregnancy care center or the thousands of others across the country, should we impose an ideological test on them and say that, well, you have to agree with the DC Democrats' position on abortion or you can't provide medical care to women? Should we do that in this country?
Absolutely not.
I just want to ask in my few remaining seconds here, Ms. Harley, The Dobbs decision, as I understand it, I've read it now a number of times, it gives to voters the decision as to what laws should be pertaining to life and pertaining to abortion in all 50 states and other jurisdictions around the country. I'm just curious, do you know what percentage of voters in this country support the DC Democrats' position that they want to impose on the entire country, a one-size-fits-all rule they want to impose from the top down? Do you know what percentage of voters support their position, which is also, by the way, the same position taken by North Korea and China, other notable violators of human rights? Do you know what percentage it is?
I know that nearly 90% of Americans oppose abortion in the third trimester. The number that would support abortion up to the moment of birth has to be minuscule. It's a horrific policy.
Yeah, I mean, based on the most recent Harvard poll that was just released just a few days ago, it's less than 10% of voters say that they would support abortion into the final month of pregnancy, and yet that is the law that the DC politicians want to impose on every voter in America, to take this away from the people, take it away from my state, take it away from all the other states and the voters in the states, but impose this law uniformly that is not supported by 90% of the American people. Talk about anti-democratic. At the same time, they want to shut down 3,000 pregnancy care centers all around this country. That's radical. Thank you for being here.
Was anyone surprised when the first woman got super defensive? I don't think I've ever heard a single straight answer from any of these lunatics. Is there a school where they learn to dodge questions and common sense?
True or false? Only women get pregnant.
True.
True.
True. True.
Very true.
Absolutely true.
True or false? Only women get pregnant.
False. False. Because there are trans people that exist, and trans men can also be pregnant as well.
False.
And what are your pronouns?
They, them.
That I would just love oversimplifications.
You can see the contrast between sanity and insanity, their physical representation. You can't miss it.
What about folks who have wombs but are not women, like trans people, genderqueer folks? Why do you keep saying women when this issue affects more than women?
Because there are two genders, male and
There
female.
are. This issue affects more than women. It affects trans men. It affects genderqueer folks.
Women have wombs.
I am not a woman and I have a womb.
You are a woman.
I
and you
know.
have a womb. No. Next question.
We've talked about claims that men can get pregnant. This idea is not scientifically accurate for biological males. It's important to understand basic human biology. What are your thoughts? Share in the comments. Thanks for watching.